Hello fellow traders, welcome to our trading den. Before we start our backtest, shout out muna tayo. Shout out kay Shinlin. Siya yung nag-request sa atin na gawan ng backtest ang Thor formation ni Winning Trades. Shout out din kay Shane. Siya yung nag-request na gawa naman natin ng backtest yung E-Aots trading strategy. So far, nagawa natin ng backtest ay ang Thor formation strategy ni Winning Trades at ang S-Aots breakout strategy ko. So far, yung dalawang na backtest natin ay pareho silang breakout strategy. This time, we are going to backtest the E-Aots trend following strategy ko. So request ito ni Shane. So ano nga ba ang E-Aots trend following strategy? So ang E-Aots trend following strategy, this is a combination with MACD divergence. It is a trend following strategy. So the indicators that we need are the EMAs and MACD. As for our bullish signal, we want our alignment of our EMAs and we also want to see a bullish divergence on our MACD. As for our entry, we want our MACD to go above the zero line and the price breaks above the 20 EMA. Or we can also enter when there is a MACD cross after a bullish divergence. So sa exit signal naman, we are going to exit when our MACD goes below the zero line and the price breaks below the 20 EMA. Or we can also exit when there is a MACD crossover after a bearish divergence. For our stop loss, meron tayong kasabihan na never cut loss in an uptrend. Bakit ka nga naman magka-cut loss if uptrend yung stock? So, pwede bumili ka pa ng marami kung mag-pullback ito. Pero, if you really want to have a stop loss, which is dapat lang naman, pwede na yung negative 5% or simply use our exit signal. Alright, so let's start our backtest. So, we have here a bullish divergence. So, we can enter on the MACD cross, pero wala ito sa rules natin. Do not trade, although profitable siya, pero wala siya sa rules natin. So we have to follow strictly our rule. So we have to wait for our entry signal. So here, after the bullish divergence, we have our entry signal. Our MACD crosses the zero line and the price is above our 20 EMA. So as much as possible, you are going to buy near the 20 EMA. So we have our buy signal here, and then as for our sell signal, so we have a divergence, a bearish divergence. So a divergence is simply a signal or a warning sign. So, but we still don't have a confirmation. But if you are going to sell on the crossover after the divergence, you are still profitable. So if you're going to sell after the divergence, so you're going to sell here. Pero wala pa siya nag-break sa 20 EMA. So we have to follow our rule. Itong divergence na ito is a warning sign. So here, price goes below our 20 EMA and at the same time, our MACD goes below the zero line. So we have our sell signal here. Another signal, a price or closing above 20 EMA. At the same time, our MACD crosses above the zero line. So we have a buy signal here. As for our exit, So we have here a divergence. So you can sell at the crossover after the divergence, or you can sell on the confirmation when our MACD cross below the zero line. Okay, so either way, you are profitable using either exit. So kung nagbenta ka on the crossover after the divergence, so dito yung exit mo, but if you sell on the confirmation, so you are able to exit here, which is still profitable by 13%. Another entry signal is generated. We have a bullish divergence, and we have our MACD crossing above the zero line, and at the same time our price breaks above the 20 EMA. So we have a buy signal. By the way, my EMAs are 20 EMA, 50 EMA, and 100 EMA. So yan yung tatlong EMAs gamit natin sa E-Aots trend following strategy. So on this trade, our sell signal is still here when the price goes below the zero line or closes below the zero line, and our MACD goes below the zero line. We also have a bearish divergence on this area, so you can also sell on the MACD crossover after the bearish divergence. So either way, you are profitable. So again, we have here a divergence, and we are going to enter on the MACD crossover after the bullish divergence. So kapag malayo masyado yung MACD natin sa zero line, we can enter when our MACD crosses the signal line. Okay, so sa crossover ng MACD tayo nag-enter, it's because malayo pa si zero line. So if we enter on the confirmation na mag-cross sa zero line, medyo mataas na siya kasi malayo yung divergence natin. MACD trend lines also act as support and resistance. So here, this is our resistance, and then nauntog, that's why goes down. So we can also use that one on our trading strategy. You are going to avoid having trades when our EMAs are very close to each other, or we call this one the EMA squeeze. It would signify that the stock is on a short-term sideways. So kapag short-term sideways, iwas muna tayo, because on this strategy, we only want to maximize the stock in an uptrend. So kapag sideways, wait lang muna tayo ng confirmations. We have another bullish divergence, and we are going to wait for our entry signal, which is our price crossing above the 20 EMA, and our MACD goes above the zero line. So we have an entry signal here. As for our exit, so we have here our exit because price closes below the 20 EMA, and our MACD goes below the zero line. And then we have another bullish divergence on our MACD. So our MACD act as a support, and since medyo malayo yung MACD crossover natin sa ating zero line, we can buy on the MACD crossover after the divergence. So we have our entry signal here, even though wala pa na break yung 20 EMA ng price natin. So we can buy on our MACD crossover after the bullish divergence if malayo yung MACD sa zero line. Since downtrend itong MACD natin. So we would assume na malayo talaga siya since sloping downward yung MACD natin. So we can enter on the crossover after the bullish divergence. And as for our sell signal, we can sell at the crossover after the divergence, the bearish divergence, or we can also sell when on the confirmation when the price close below the 20 EMA and our MACD goes below the zero line. Our EMA is not aligned, so we are going to stay away during this time. Wala sa system natin. We are only going to trade when our EMAs are aligned and we see a MACD buy signal. So here, our EMAs are aligned. We have a bullish divergence and we enter on the MACD crossover, or when our MACD goes above the zero line and our price close above the 20 EMA. As for our exit, so we are going to wait until we have a sell signal. Since nag-close na yung price below the 20 EMA, so you can sell here. Okay? Or if na-hold mo siya, pwede ka na dito mag-sell or on the divergence. When our MACD cross after the bearish divergence, you can also sell. So, mas maganda if mag-sell ka doon sa crossover after the bearish divergence if you want to sell higher. But, it could also continue upward. So, we are going to sell. We can also sell on the confirmation when our price close below the 20 EMA and our MACD goes below the zero line. We have another entry here since our MACD goes back above the zero line and we also have a breakout. So kanina, sabi ko, our trend line on our MACD serve as support and resistance. So pag mag-breakout siya on the resistance, MACD resistance, that could also mean a buy. So, and we also have a confirmation on the price closing above the 20 EMA and our MACD goes above the zero line. So we have our buy signal. We are going to sell here on the close below the 20 EMA and our MACD goes below the zero line. So again, you can also sell on the bearish divergence if you want. So either way, you are profitable. Our EMAs are not aligned. Iwas muna tayo pag ganyan yung structure ng stock. If you have a trading system or you have your signals, kapag hindi klaro yung binigay na signal ng indicators mo, huwag mong bilhin. So you are only going to execute when your indicators are clearly showing buy signals. That is the only time that you are going to execute a trade. Kung ikaw mismo na medyo naguguluhan if okay na ba tong signal na to or hindi, that means wag mo muna siyang i-trade kasi hindi clear yung signal. Okay? So you're only going to trade when the signal is clear. Walang alignment ng EMA, so iwas. We are not going to execute trades here because it is not on our system. So we are only going to execute our trades if it is on our system. We are going to avoid stocks that are trending downwards. So this strategy only works on an uptrending stocks. Alright, white yung nilagay ko to emphasize something. So we have here a divergence. So we can enter when our MACD goes above the zero line. Also, the price closest above the 20 EMA. However, ano kayang mali dito? Using our system. So, what do you think is wrong in this setup? So, here, we don't have our alignment. So, since we don't have our alignment, we are not going to execute the trade or execute this buy signal. Your system would be useless if you don't follow it. So that's why you have to strictly follow your trading system. Even though it is profitable, yes, we have a chance to gain on this setup, pero wala siya sa system, we are not going to execute any trades na wala sa system natin. So as you can see, we only have signals during uptrending market. And we are going to avoid downtrending market. So, hindi tayo counter-trend traders. We are trend followers. So, we are going to follow the trend, follow the uptrend, and we're going to execute trades only during the uptrends. So, this is our backtest result. On AGI, we have a total of 12 trades. Our winning trades are 11 and we have only one losing trade. So our win rate is 92%. Our biggest gain is 60.94. Our biggest loss is negative 2.8. Our average win is 18.88. Our average loss is negative 2.08. So our reward risk ratio is 9.08. So, using this strategy, we are up from our starting capital of 100K, we are up by 424% within 10 years. So, we have an annual percent increase of 42%. Assuming we are going to hold our position for at least 2 months. So, we have 6 trades in a year. So, since trend following tayo, hindi tayo yung chupitero na exit and enter lang from time to time. So, we are holding our position for a long time. So, let us say na at least 2 months yung holding period natin. So, for a year, we are only going to have 6 trades. So, within 10 years, we have 60 trades. So, we need to have 5 stocks to satisfy the 60 trades in 10 years. So, we are going to multiply our results by 5. So, approximately, in 10 years, with 5 stocks, using this strategy, we are up by 2,122, or we have an annual return of 212%. So, another double bagger strategy using our E-Aots MACD Divergence trend following strategy. So, I hope nagustuhan nyo yung video natin. If ever meron kayong request na gusto nyong i-backtest, so just comment or you can PM me sa Facebook. So, para gawa natin ito ng backtest. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And let me know if you like the video para ganahan tayong maggawa ng more content regarding to backtesting and sharing strategies. Okay, so thanks for watching and happy trading everyone.